The desert of Toronto stretched endlessly, red sand sparkling under the harsh alien sun. Commander Michael Clark stood among Tyrrhenian elders, listening to their careful words about trade and diplomacy. While the adults debated, 7-year-old Jaime Clark wandered away, bored and curious. Near the edge of the settlement, a small Tyrrhenian girl sat alone, her bright blue eyes watching the other children. Jaime felt a pang of recognition. He knew loneliness. Walking toward her, he ignored warning gestures from the other Tyrrhenian kids. "Hi, I'm Jaime," he said, crouching. She hesitated but nodded. From his pocket, Jaime pulled a small toy starship, his most treasured possession. "Here, it's for you." Slowly she reached out. "Elia," she whispered. A shy smile spread across her face for the first time. Jaime grinned. Elder Kaelrith noticed the interaction. "Your son approaches the outcast," he murmured. Michael frowned. "Is she dangerous?" "No," the elder replied. "She is the daughter of Chief Toran of the Northern Tribes. Her mother was from this settlement. This union was not sanctioned." Jaime and Elia continued to play, oblivious to politics and history. A small gesture of friendship had already begun to bridge worlds. Arrival of the Northern Warriors. By dawn, news of Jaime's kindness had spread. The desert was alive with movement. On the horizon, hundreds of Northern warriors marched in formation, their polished armor glinting in the rising sun. Michael raised his binoculars. "They come for her, and because of him," Elder Kaelrith whispered. Jaime's small act of friendship had drawn attention from the fierce Northern tribes. At the settlement boundary, the warriors stopped. A tall figure stepped forward, Chief Toran himself, his presence commanding, eyes piercing. Behind him, Elia ran to his side, still clutching Jaime's toy starship. Through the translator, Toran's voice echoed. "We have come to honor the child who did not turn away from my daughter." Jaime stepped forward, holding his father's hand tightly. The chief presented a pendant, a symbol of friendship and protection. Jaime's small gesture had earned respect that even diplomacy could not create. Michael watched closely, noting a female warrior standing beside Toran. Her sharp eyes met his. Something in her gaze, recognition, perhaps admiration, left him unsettled but aware. Even in the desert, where alliances were fragile and tensions high, a child's innocence had created hope. The Northern warriors had settled nearby, their presence both intimidating and reassuring. Michael stayed vigilant, but his attention often drifted to Nara, the female warrior who had caught his eye during the ceremony. Later, she approached him. "Commander, while elders negotiate, warriors exchange truth," she said. "I propose training together." In a quiet stretch of packed sand, they began. Human strength met Tyrrhenian precision. Blows were exchanged, stances tested, movements mirrored. Conversation flowed naturally. "You fight well for a diplomat," Nara remarked. "Our first contacts haven't always been peaceful," Michael replied. As the sun dipped, their sparring became more than technique. Shared effort, mutual respect, and understanding passed silently between them. A connection formed beyond words. Suddenly, an alarm blared. Overhead, a sleek black Texra ship hovered, firing energy beams. Panic swept the settlement. Michael and Nara raced toward the learning dome where the children were secured. Northern warriors and Earth security units joined forces, moving with remarkable coordination. Jaime and Elia were safe, but chaos reigned. It was the first real test of unity between species. The Texra raiders had one goal: capture Elder Kaelrith and take the settlement's knowledge. Michael, Nara, and their combined forces pursued them into the burning canyons, a treacherous labyrinth of jagged rock and heat. The terrain disrupted communication and weapons, forcing them to rely on skill, trust, and instinct. Northern warriors led the way, Earth security units covered flanks, and Michael moved alongside Nara like a well-trained team. Inside the raiders' ship, the captives were trapped in a containment chamber. Energy fire flared, Texra soldiers attacked, but Michael and Nara fought with seamless coordination. Blades clashed, shots fired, chaos and precision mingling in deadly harmony. A critical choice came: The ship's self-destruct sequence activated. Michael and Nara refused to leave anyone behind. With elders and children secured, they fought a final wave of Texra and escaped just as the ship erupted behind them. Emerging into the canyon dawn, battered but alive, the group realized the victory was more than survival. It was proof of unity. Northern tribes and Terranayans, humans and aliens, had fought as one. Jaime had witnessed it all, understanding in his own small way that his act of kindness had set events into motion far larger than himself. The settlement returned to quiet after the chaos, but nothing would ever be the same. The northern tribes, once distant and proud, now camped openly at the settlement's edge, not as conquerors, but as allies. Chief Toran approached Jaime and knelt. "Your kindness," he said, "reminded my daughter, and all of us, what honor truly means." He touched the pendant around Jaime's neck, a small gesture, yet it symbolized a lasting bond. Michael watched quietly, Nara beside him. Their hands brushed once, briefly, a silent acknowledgement of trust, respect, and something unspoken that had grown in the fires of combat and training alike. In the following days, trade and diplomacy resumed under new terms. Old grievances were addressed, alliances formed. Northern warriors shared knowledge with Terranians and humans alike, and mutual respect replaced suspicion. Jaime sat with Elia in the sand, the small starship between them. "Did I do something important?" he asked. Michael smiled. "More important than you can imagine." Above, the desert winds carried the memory of courage, friendship, and hope. A child's simple act of kindness had changed the fate of entire peoples. The desert had grown calm again, but the settlement was forever changed. The northern tribes, once distant and proud, now camped openly at the edge of the settlement, not as conquerors, but as allies. Their banners fluttered in the warm wind, a symbol of fragile unity forged in fire. Jaime sat beside Elia in the red sand, their small starship between them. The laughter of children, human and Tyrannian, echoed across the dunes. For Jaime, the desert no longer felt lonely. His simple act of kindness had opened a path for friendship and trust. Chief Toran approached, kneeling before Jaime. "Your courage and kindness," he said, placing a hand lightly on the boy's shoulder, "reminded us all what honor truly means." He touched the pendant at Jaime's neck, the mark of lasting bond between the northern tribes and humans. Michael watched quietly, Nara standing beside him. Their hands brushed briefly, a silent acknowledgement of the battles, the trust, and the connection that had grown between them. There were no words necessary. The past chaos had spoken volumes. In the following days, trade and knowledge flowed between humans and Terranians. The northern warriors shared their skills, while humans contributed their technology. The settlement buzzed with cautious optimism. Old grievances were softened, and alliances were quietly cemented, built on respect rather than fear. As night fell, the stars spread across the sky like silver lanterns. Jaime looked up, the blue pendant gleaming faintly in the firelight. "Dad?" he asked softly. "Did I really make a difference?" Michael smiled, placing his hand on Jaime's shoulder. "More than you know, son. You changed the future." The desert winds carried their whispers, spreading the story of bravery, kindness, and unity across the dunes. In the silence between the stars, a new era began, one where humans, Turanians, and the northern tribes could walk together, bound by trust, respect, and the courage of a child.